What's the key to creating confidence? Have you ever sat down and thought about what areas of your life you feel most confident in? Think about what is it that you do on a daily basis that you know you can do no matter what. If you haven't taken that moment, think about it right now. Consider what parts of your life do you feel completely self-assured, believe you can do it, and know that you can figure it out. So when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about me being a wife or cooking or all different kinds of things. So is it for you being a dad, being a mom? Is it your career? Are you really good at whatever it is that you do for your job? Maybe you're a good cook. Maybe you're just great at speaking in front of others. Or maybe it's none of this. Maybe you have your own things that you're really confident about doing. So it doesn't matter what it is, but just pick one and consider, what do you do when you feel confident? How do you feel? How does your body react when you're confident? You have high energy. You almost always have done it over and over again, and this is why you feel confident. So today we're going to talk about one key thing I believe is at the top of the list for building confidence, and it's learning to be uncomfortable and managing your mind when you do feel uncomfortable. Learning this skill and becoming really good at it will make you literally unstoppable and super confident. Welcome to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I'm on a quest to help you find the most confident version of you. I help women become the most authentic version of themselves by helping them find clarity around who they are and who they want to be. My goal is to help women sift through all that noise that they have in their head about who they should be or who they shouldn't be, and create a plan to be exactly who they want to be. You don't have to continue to live with anxiety, high stress, and overwhelm. You can, little by little, get back to a place of peace and live with more contentment than you ever thought possible. You don't have to merely survive day to day. There is a life waiting for you, thriving. Grab your coffee, your favorite colored pen, and a pad of paper because we're headed out to find your confidence today. If you're still listening in, you're ready to figure it out. Why do I believe that being uncomfortable is one of the most important keys to building confidence? Well, one thing I will tell you is if you can create a process for handling it when you're uncomfortable, you will exponentially increase your confidence. I promise. And here's why. When you consider what you're good at, ask yourself why. Well, for one, you've most likely gotten good at it by doing it over and over, but let's consider something simple. When you first learned to ride a bike, maybe your mom or dad held the back of the bike for you while you got your pedals going. Maybe you fell and you scraped your knee or your elbow, or maybe you prepared ahead of time and you had a helmet on and knee pads and elbow pads. I'm old enough, and if you know, you know, we didn't have all of that stuff for when we learned to ride a bike. So it was pretty scary to be up there, try to figure out how to ride a bike and get the pedals going fast enough to stay steady. And then your tire would turn way or the other, and you would end up falling and scraping your knee or your elbow. So for some of us, it was a pretty traumatic experience. But the reality is that we had to be uncomfortable that first time or two. And if you were lucky, you're someone who learned it right away and didn't have that experience, but I would say probably most of us did have that experience. It wasn't comfortable. Think about this. When you are uncomfortable, do you try to do it, or are you more hesitant? Do you just not do something because it's uncomfortable? What is your comfort zone for trying new things? And I have learned through coaching and seeing people who are uber confident that most of them at least understand what happens to themselves when they are uncomfortable, and they stretch their comfort zone for trying new things often. If you are not a person who's comfortable trying new things and you're not a person who likes being uncomfortable, this may be keeping you from building your confidence and becoming your best you. Think about the goals that you have that are maybe big or audacious, or maybe you don't feel comfortable making big, audacious goals because you don't like being uncomfortable. So let's talk about being uncomfortable and what that really means. In episode 27 and episode 30, I speak with Sarah Fernandez. She is the podcast owner of How Confidence Speaks, and we talk about how there's this elevator exercise where you walk on to the elevator and you face the back of the elevator, or even the side of the elevator, which both are fine. This basically puts you in a situation where you are doing something outside of the social norm. So people will look at you weird, people react to you differently, and it can be extremely uncomfortable depending on if there's anybody on the elevator or not. When you're experiencing something that is a social norm and you do something different, what does your brain do to you? How do you respond? Does your body get sweaty? Does your temperature go up? Do you find that your racing thoughts are in your head about worrying about what other people think? How you respond to that is super important. And if you are afraid and you build that muscle to continue to be afraid and avoid those situations, your tolerance for doing big, audacious things goes way down if you're not able to test those waters to do new things that are uncomfortable. One thing that I think that you can do to help your confidence is to get really good at building on your reactions, or managing, I should say, your reactions. Once you get clear on the reactions and you learn to manage them, you won't be as afraid to try those uncomfortable things that may keep you scared and prevent you from doing it. Practice being uncomfortable, like getting on an elevator. Practice being uncomfortable by going to networking meetings if that's not your thing, or practice by speaking in front of audiences or singing in front of somebody, doing something that pulls you out of what you're comfortable from. Get really good at understanding how your body reacts. And when you do that, you're going to understand what symptoms for you that you need to manage. For me, my body temperature raises, probably my face gets red or maybe flushed. My temperature definitely goes up. Ladies, for those that you don't have hot flashes yet, you may once you start getting older and you find yourself uncomfortable. Whatever those things are, you can learn to manage them. For me, I know when I'm having a hot flash because I'm uncomfortable, I need to take my glasses off because my glasses will literally fog up. I know it sounds silly, but I know that's something I need to do, and other people may or may not recognize that in me, but it's something that I can manage myself. And when I manage it, I feel better about the situation than when I just sit there and panic with my glasses fogging up. Think about, what is your fear? Put yourself in situations that will help you build that muscle of being uncomfortable, but will also help you get to know yourself better so you can see that you actually survive. You survive those moments of being uncomfortable, and it's okay. If you are a person who is caught up being uncomfortable mainly because of what other people think, consider how important it isn't what other people think. One of my coaches used to say to me, it's none of your business what other people think of you. And when you think of it like that, it's pretty interesting because it's true. People will have their thoughts and there's nothing you could do about it, right? This week, I want you to consider how it is that you're playing safe and what are you doing that you've always done, but if you're doing it in a way that's keeping you safe and keeping you from becoming the most confident version of yourself, how can you stretch yourself to be a little bit uncomfortable? Find one small thing and one big thing that you could do that will get you out of your comfort zone and do those things. Take notes. How does your brain react to being uncomfortable? And how do you physically react to being uncomfortable? Can you manage those symptoms of being uncomfortable and then learn how to do it over and over? Because when you do, you're going to realize you've got your own back, you can survive, you can learn from the situation and do it again. And the more you do something, the better you get at it. If you don't know how to manage your mind and you don't know how to manage symptoms of being uncomfortable, I can help you. I help people all the time understand their brains and how they think about doing something scary. All you got to do is sign up for a coaching session and let me help you figure out how do you react, how to manage your mind, and learn how to be more uncomfortable and do the scary thing even when it's hard. You'll be able to do so much with learning how to be uncomfortable. Your confidence will get better and better and better. Not only that, you'll put yourself in a position where you can ask for the raise. You can sit down with your husband and have hard conversations. You can have better boundaries with your family and friends and your children. You can stop people pleasing. And there are so many ways that learning to be uncomfortable serves your highest purpose. You can become the best version of you so much faster. Your confidence will be so much better, and you'll stop allowing your fears to guide you because you're going to know that you can figure it out on your own. Look, I've got you. You've got this. I'm here to help you when you're ready. I have openings right now for one-on-one coaching. So if you're ready, I'm going to drop the link in the show notes and you can sign up there. If you're not wanting coaching, not a problem. Keep showing up. I'm here every week and I will see you next week. Hey, I want to thank you for listening in to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I really hope you learned something valuable today. Can you do me the biggest favor? Right now, could you share the show with 3 people you know that might enjoy listening in? If you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you took the time to leave a rating or review. This helps people just like you find the podcast so they can also get great fun tips about confidence. Then don't forget, come back each week and we will keep giving out little tips for how to increase your confidence, how to ditch that self-doubt and stop your negative thought patterns so you can get back to your crazy confident self and pursue your biggest dreams fearlessly. See you next week. Love you big.